makes yours yours? What's special about them?
Mine stands up on its own. His doesn't. You can play mine sitting down. His you can't.
It's like, you gotta put it like, between your legs and that's it.
Well, remember the V that they had with the little kickstand? Do you remember that?
Well, fortunately, I don't.
They had, Gibson made a V that had a kickstand for when you sat down. It was like a little piece of plastic. I know. Well,
It did not last long.
No, I mean, it's like, you just grab it and you just put it like this. For me, it's
Oh, there you go.
Because, like, obviously you can't do it like this. But now when I play, for example, Strat-shaped guitar, I feel weird, when it's like right here. But, I don't know, it's just a matter of getting used to it. But just saying that, I think the V shape, especially like, the Randy shape, sort of, it just looks badass. And always like the fact that, I only have one pickup in there because, I just came to a conclusion that I don't need the other ones. I really don't. I love the mean treble sound, and that's what I do. I play metal, and that's what you need. And one thing that I always hated about, the neck pickup, like, some players can really actually use it right, but there were like a lot of dudes out there who would, like, when they were trying to play fast, they would just put like crap load of echo and just like switch on the neck pickup and just do a bunch of
Hey, wait a minute, I do that. Why are you making fun of me, dude? God. Jeez, you've hurt my feelings. I'm gonna go home and take out all my neck pickups. God.
All right,
I gotta go now.
Okay, I'm just not gonna talk anymore.
I would just seriously love the neck position pickup. I don't have it in this guitar. But
as I said, some dudes, like, they know how to use it, They use it because of the tone, not because it gets, the tone gets, like, not as sharp.
Yeah, it's easier to play legato.
Cheat.
Well, I wouldn't call it cheating. It just makes the ear feedback thing kind of easier because it's kind of a more fluid sound. So you can like do things like sweep and do faster runs with the single coil neck position pickup.
Yeah.
Like Yngwie.
Yeah.
And then when you want to brighten it up and make it a little more, in your face, then you just switch to the bridge pickup.
Mine is like, it's actually kind of funny. The one that's coming out from the EMG, it's like the one that I used to play with when I used to play the Jackson guitars, and they had this weird kind of setup going on, which was like a passive humbucker, and there was this gain boost built inside the guitar with like a gain boost that could adjust the amount of gain.
Right.
There was like a 3-band EQ in there as well, so it means that if you crank up the gain, you would get like 4 times as much output as from like your active humbucker or whatever.
Right on.
And the reason why I love those pickups was because I play with this pretty somewhat messed up a preamp called Lee Jackson Perfect Connection, and I love the tone. Yeah, I love the
price
tone,
of those just went up on eBay.
Is that, it's like you don't really get that much distortion out of it, man.
Right.
But when you get that setup that I had, and put it together with the Lee Jackson, that was like my tone. I was like, yeah, that's perfect, definitely.
So you just punch the hell out of it from the front end?
Yeah. So
is it active?
What I've been working. This is not the thing. That's not the one yet, which is coming out. But pretty much, the package with EMG, which is it's gonna happen is there's gonna be a passive humbucker and also have the gain boost inside the guitar.
Oh, right on.
So, but it's a cool thing, you can get your own tone, man. Like you can actually have a 3-band EQ inside the guitar.
So a little trim pot?
Yeah.
Or the dip switches, or?
Well, it's the EQ's like you need like, I don't know, a tiny screwdriver to.
Right, the little dip switches, the white switches, yeah.
Right.
That's really interesting. I didn't know
I think
that.
the setup, I think it was like really popular in the 80s. I think a lot of guys used it, but somehow it just disappeared. And I don't know, I love this.
So you're using pretty much an 80s rig then?
Yeah, man. I love it. I don't know.
That's cool.
It's my favorite sort of guitar sound.
So I can't talk you into a Randall Lynch box?
Well, that's today, sir. Maybe.
So So tell us a bit about the Screaming Demon.
That's I've had that for God, I think that's about 15 years now. The name sort of implies a kind of a really hot pickup, but it really isn't. It's kind of a lower voltage pickup. It
PAF-ish.
a little hotter than that. It really works good in heavier guitars, I've found. You know, I don't use them in every guitar, but
Like the maple bodies.
yeah, most of my guitars are very heavy. My Tiger guitar is extremely heavy, and it sounds good in that. I also have another pickup that's custom shop only. It's called a Super V, and then there's which is very kind of Seth Lover-ish, and then distressed and everything. Yeah, very. But I've just found, you know, less gain the better. I've just learned to play with less gain, and the more I've done that, the more I've realized that you hear the fingers and the dynamics and the wood and everything that you want to hear.
I agree, definitely.
All that kind of, all those inflections and tonalities and dynamics, and you know, like when you listen to Beck and all these guys, we really hear expression in the playing. And I guess that's just a matter of maybe just becoming a more mature player. People usually gravitate that way.
Right.
I mean, I still like heavy music, obviously, and I still do that, and probably still play with too much gain at times. But you sacrifice certain things when you do that. It becomes so compressed and sort of one-dimensional, you know.
The subtler interactions with the
Yeah.
Totally.
It's harder to say things. It's harder. I like talking guitar, you know. So, anyways.
So other than guitars and amps, what's like the one piece of gear from each of you that you just wouldn't want to hit the stage without?
Well,
Pants?
obviously.
Right. Okay, guitars, amps, and
Well, I actually have done that. I'm not gonna get to that.
Oh, I could tell you a story.
No, but well, I'm picks obviously. I mean, it's just a very important part of Minneapolis for me. And for me, I mean, I like to use the download the jazz picks, which I mean they're kind of small and this is the most important part of the thing. You know, it's got the sharp tip,
Right.
and you know I like it that way. It's just always been that way.
Are you like nylon jazz strings?
I don't know, you know.
The black or
Yeah,
red
the
ones?
black ones. Yeah.
Have you seen these?
Uh-oh. She could.
Yeah, slightly different material.
It feels the same though.
It's a little
Lighter, is it?
little bit. They're interesting.
Weird.
Spooky. Hold on to it if you want.
Oh,
Go for it.
thanks,
Enjoy. George, what about you?
The indispensable one piece of gear.
Pedal or,
Well, I'd say two things. One, I'm kind of a slave because I'm more old school to having some delay in my solos.
okay.
So I kind of work off of that, and that's probably the one thing I'd have to have. But I'd say all things, you know, being equal, I could probably play just, you know, any reasonable guitar and reasonable pedals, but really when it comes down to it, I think the amp. Plugging into a lousy sounding amp, I don't care how good your guitar is or how good you're playing that day, but a great sounding amp can just inspire you and make you know, if you have questionable guitar, pedals or room or anything, I think that the amp is the main thing. That's why I play Randall Lynch boxes, because they give me that tone that, you know, every single day I plug in, I'm just like, bam, I'm happy, you know. I get inspired. When you plug into an amp, it makes you want to play.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about.